I am officially live right now. Oh my goodness, I had some major technical difficulties. Oh my goodness, my urbanites. Well, I am Dr. Lisa LaCON, and welcome to Urban Tools for Change, the podcast on your YouTube channel. Oh my goodness. All right, so I am back. Oh, so I'm Dr. Lisa LaCON, and Urban Tools for Change is sponsored by Blessed Ministries Incorporated. And you can go to the website www.bmi no, it's bmiworks.org. Yes, that's it. www.bmiworks.org. And we are a nonprofit agency, workforce development agency, and we work with various populations to help them become employed. So we work with those under the supervision of parole. We work with those that may have adults with disabilities. We work with youth with disabilities. We work with adults that are receiving SNAP benefits, or what we call food stamps, to get them employed. So I need you to do me a favor, my urbanites. Welcome. And I missed you so much last week, but I was trekking cross country from LA to Maryland. Yes, I was, and it was fantastic. So what we talked about the last time was relationships. Finding those jokers versus those kings. And oftentimes, many of us end up with jokers. And when we end up with jokers, it really heightens our anxiety. Okay, so one of the questions that I asked you to ask someone if you are thinking about getting married with them, establishing a long-term relationship with them, the question is, let me pull it up. Do you have alternative sexual preferences? Now, I have to say, out of all of the questions, that one was the one that people were most interested in. Now, that tells me something about people. Yeah. Anyway, that one question garnered a lot of questions because I said one word, and that one word was a throuple. And people didn't know what a throuple was. They asked me, Dr. Lisa, what's a throuple? Lisa, what's a throuple? But it can't be the same as an open marriage because you said those two distinctive terms separately. So I'm going to explain to you what a throuple is, okay? So a throuple occurs when two people invite one in their relationship. So the word throuple has two key words in it. Think about it. Throuple. Throuple. It's triple couple. It's a triple couple relationship, whether they are sexually active, all three of them, or maybe one or two or whatever, but they're an intimate relationship with three people. So my husband and I are married 23 years, and we believe the two have become one. In a throuple relationship or throupling, I don't know what to call it, but in that type of relationship is actually the three become one, which is a little odd because I find that in a relationship, dealing with one person is more than enough, but then to deal with two people. So in a throuple, the composition could be two women and one man, two women and one man, two men and one woman. It could be three women or three men. And they have all consented to be in this type of relationship. So it typically starts out with Johnny and Diane are in a relationship and they both are interested in throupling. So they see Mary, and Mary seems open. So Mary is going to engage in that relationship with those two people so that now all three of them are in a intimate, consensual relationship. Now, I said intimate, I didn't say sexual, because not all thruples are sexually based. They have a component of intimacy. It's still a little odd for me, but it is what it is. I'm just giving you the definition. All right. So, one of the things that I discussed also is about a body count, right? And for a relationship to be effective, you have to be honest. You have to be honest about your sexual preferences. So if you are interested in throupling with someone, you need to let that person know. And when I talk about body count, you need to let the person know how many people you have slept with in your life. And you need to ask that other person, how many people have you slept with in your life? Because if a 30-year-old has slept with about 40 people, that's a very high body count. Very high body count. And oftentimes, ladies, men don't, they prefer not to have a woman with a high body count to make a wife. They'll do other things with you, but they will not wife you. And that's a difference, a big difference. So that's what a throuple is. But one of the things that I enjoy talking about is, relationships. Again, I am not a relationship expert. I have my PhD in psychiatric rehabilitation. I have my master's in rehabilitation counseling, and I am a certified rehabilitation counselor. But I have to say, I believe that my level of expertise comes from my 23-year marriage with my husband and having 4 children. Yes, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 kids. So talking about relationships, one of the most important and the key to having a good relationship is 2 things. I'm going to talk about these 2 things right now, and I want you to write it down. It seems very simple. And then there are other things that I'm going to build on later, but this is very simple. The first thing, ladies, you really need to establish a friendship with that person. Okay? Because it's very important. You not only should love and be in love with your spouse, you should be able to like your spouse. Because frankly, there are some people that you love that you just don't like. And that's not good. That's not good in a spouse. You want to be able to like and love your spouse at the same time. How does that work? For me, it worked based on the friendship foundation. I started my relationship with my husband. It was a mutual thing. We were just good friends, very good friends. We hung out all the time. What you see is what you get. I wasn't hiding anything from him because I didn't have ulterior motives. It was just based on solid friendship. He knew more about me than a lot of people that I had dated for 6 months just because we were good friends. It makes a difference. It really does. Now, I have to say, transitioning from that friendship zone to the intimate zone was a little awkward, but it worked nonetheless. Now, the second thing that you have to be mindful of is communication. Now, communication comes in many forms. You can communicate in horrible ways. You can communicate by not talking at all, because that is a form of communication. But I'm talking about having good communication skills, good, honest communication. If you believe something is happening in your life that your husband needs to know about, you need to communicate that. And there's a way that you need to communicate it to him so that, one, you don't belittle your husband, not to bash him over the head, but 2, so that he can assist you in getting to be a better you. Okay. So how does that communication work? It doesn't work through yelling, because you can't hear people yelling. Like, it's just the yelling thing. For me personally, I shut down when it comes to yelling. It's like, this yelling is not going to work. Not going to work for me. So What happens is good communication establishes with honesty. Okay. And oftentimes we develop our communication skills from our parents. So if we didn't see our parents having good communication skills, 9 times out of 10, our communication skills are going to be very poor. Okay. And then next week, I'm going to talk about different types of communication skills. I'm not going to talk about that right now. But one of the things I'm going to talk about is also within communicating is the preferences of, your sex life. What do you prefer? Do you prefer throuple? Because you don't want to get in a relationship without knowing what you got into. Because one of the things that is horrible is getting in a relationship built on a lie. Trust me, I can tell you firsthand, it is awful. Entering into a relationship built on a lie is no good for anyone. And then you have to think when you love and like that person and you want to spend all of your life with them, it's more than just a romp in the sack. It's about establishing legacy. What do you want to build with this person? Now, listen, if you're in a relationship and you're not building anything with that person, that's more lust than love. And let me tell you how lust looks. Lust looks like this. You have to have that person no matter what, and it's predicated on sex. It's not predicated on building together. It's predicated on sex, getting your sexual needs met, but not legacy. Whereas legacy looks like this. You're in a relationship with someone. You're working together. You're making compromises. You're building so that your children and your children's children's children can be better off than you. That's legacy. I call that love legacy. The other thing is lust. So, ladies, if you're in a relationship, a long term relationship with someone, and they don't want to build with you, it's time for you to say, hit the road, Jack, or hit the road, Joker, because you're wasting your time. You're floundering in the wind. You're going to wake up and you're going to be barren. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's all. You're going to be barren. You may have children by this person, but you have no assets together. You aren't purchasing things together. You're not growing together. You're not building wealth together. The only thing that you're doing together is a romp in the sack. And and how far can that go? I mean, really, when you think about it, how far can that go? Because let me tell you, as you get older, sex is not that, sex is very exhausting when you get older. You have to catch it when you can. Like, I'm in the mood. We got 10 minutes because after that, I'm going to wind down. So listen, I'm telling you, there is a difference between that love legacy, liking, loving, and the lust. The lust won't get you anywhere except, oh Lord, let me not say this, except the lollipop between the man's legs. I done said it. Oh Lord, I done said it. And your egg fertilized by a joker. Oh my God, I done said it. And then you and your baby mama drama standing in the welfare line. Oh Lord, I done said, I'm speaking truth to y'all now today. I'm serious. Come on, ladies, we have to get it together. Don't be fooled by Johnny and his small talk. Ask Johnny, where are you taking me in 5-10 years? Where are you taking me? What legacy do you want to establish and build for me? And if he looks like legacy, girl, kick Johnny to the curb. Kick him to the curb, because Johnny is only interested in the lust factor. But it's very important. Start out as friends. But I have to warn you, ladies, about men. Men are very stealthy. They'll be in that friend zone for 20 years, 30 years waiting for that opportunity. And man, soon as you get very vulnerable, they just come on in, because men are hunters and that's what they do. They are very stealthy and they just hunt and they prey. And then oftentimes they do prey on victims. They just hunt and they prey and they lay in wait under the guise of friendship. So you have to see through that too. And you have to be honest. Like, listen, I'm not attracted to you, but are you attracted to me? And then hopefully he's honest too. If he says yes, you just have to be honest and say, well, you know what? I don't think this is going to go anywhere. But then you never know, because things happen. Things do happen. Oh Lord, yes, they do. Because I'm going to be honest, my husband and we started out in the friend zone. I don't think he was attracted to me. I don't think so. I don't know. That's what he says, but I think he was waiting. He was very stealthy. He has a lot of patience sometimes, and he just waited for that opportunity. He waited for little vulnerable me. And then he showed himself and presented himself. And I was like, oh yes, okay. Mm-hmm. But in all seriousness, being married is a wonderful journey. It really is. And you really want to be married with someone that you like and someone that you enjoy having sex with, being sexually compatible. But again, as you get older, you got to take it when you can, because we're no longer in our 30s or our 20s and things of that nature. Now we have bad knees, we have bad backs, and we just can't somersault like we used to. Just can't. So anyway, that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about, was the throupling, and to really discuss what throupling is, and is it detrimental to a person's mental health. Now, for me, this is my opinion, I would say yes, because I think in that relationship, someone may end up feeling like the third wheel. Now, I haven't talked to any couples that throuple. If you know of a couple that thruples, you know what? You can have them call me. The number is right there, 973-733-WORK. That's work. That's 9675. And ask to speak with Dr. Lisa LaCON if you are in a throupling relationship, because I would like to hear from you, and not to judge you or anything, but just to get your perspective about what you do. Expenses. Do you divide expenses a third and you all contribute? Do you all buy a house? Do you all have children and all three of you all raise the children? Like, I don't know. Like, even for marriage, will it be three people walking down an aisle getting married in a throupling relationship? I don't know, because we have changed the definition of marriage to suit what we want. So maybe that would be the next thing. Three people getting married, walking down the aisle, 2 suits and a gown, 3 gowns, 3 suits. It's very confusing to me. So I would like to speak with someone, because I have no idea about this throupling thing. Again, a lot of people ask me about throupling, and throupling is different than having an open relationship. So say, for instance, an open relationship is 2 people have agreed to have sexual relations with other people, but this third person is not invited into their life intimately. So they may not live with that person or things of that nature. So a person that may have an open relationship, they may be swingers. Yes, child, people be swinging on swings and stuff with different I'll tell you, listen, this stuff is real. Swingers, child. Swingers that, they go to these parties. I've never been to a party. I've heard of them. You work around artists and, artistic people and stuff. So I'm not shocked about anything. But I think if I did walk into a place and I saw 2 people swinging naked on a swing set, I just, I just can't. But At the end of the day, like I always tell people, you're going to have to defend your decisions when you stand before God. You're just going to have to. So I don't judge you down here. I will tell you my opinion about it. I think, in my opinion, the long run, it's unhealthy for a relationship because it's bound to happen that there's going to be that one person that may give your spouse what your spouse is really maybe looking for. So no, no. The word of God says, and the two shall become one, not the three shall become one. So anyway, that's what a throuple is. And that's different than an open marriage, right? So an open marriage is where you have, again, a couple that says, hey, let's invite Rachel in for some fun. And then Rachel can go home. Hey, let's invite Johnny for some fun. And then Johnny will go home. And it's open. And people establish rules. They establish boundaries in these open relationships. That's not for me. And then you have another one called polyamorous or something like that, which means many loves. I have many loves. No, you don't have many loves. You have many people that you want to sleep with. That's called lust. You have many lust. That's what you have. Don't float the word love around because love has nothing to do with it. You're not trying to build no legacy with them people that you have many loves with. What legacy are you building with that? Fertilizing someone's egg, hump them and dump them, and then you end up, well, your child that you never see because you didn't want to have a legacy with them, they end up in the welfare line. That's not legacy. Not legacy at all. So these people talk about, oh, I have many lovers. No, you have many lust partners that you like to sleep with, and that's all you want to do because you're not building anything on that. You're not working together. You're not putting together your resources. You're not thinking about legacy, my children's children's children. You're not thinking about any of that. You're only thinking about getting your lollipop sucked and your needs met at this place in time. You're too busy looking at your feet and not looking at the horizon and thinking, oh my goodness, in 30 years, how will my life be? In 50 years, how will my life be? Will I be surrounded by loved ones on my deathbed, or will I be by myself because I'm too old to be even thinking about having sex and no one built legacy with me? And guess what? No one knows I have children. My children don't know me. So, I mean, listen, this stuff is real. As I go, my ancestors tonight, my African ancestors. Look at this. I love this little. Yes, I'm sporting my African ancestors tonight. I love my little dashiki. Yep. So anyway, you're building lust and you're building a body count. And I mentioned that word in my last episode about kings and joker. Then someone said, oh, body count. Yes, it's how many people you have slept with in your lifetime. So a lot of men prefer to have women with low body counts. So if you're 35 and your body count is averaging at least one person per year of your life, 35, that's kind of high. I think 35, that's high. But guess what? You have to be open and honest about that. You have to say, you know what? I've been with You have to count. If you have to do that. You have to do, how many people have you slept with? And women, you need to ask the men, how many women have you slept with? And nowadays you have to ask them, how many men and women have you slept with? That's another story. I told y'all about that. So anyway, what you want to do is, one, have open communication with the person that you want to build legacy with. You want to also start out in the friend zone so that you can have that friendship, because at the end of the day, even though you are in love with that person, when the rain comes on that relationship, the only ground that you may find yourself standing on is that friendship ground. And if you don't like that person as a person, if you don't like them, the relationship is going to be so challenging and hard. It really will be. I'm telling you, because at the end of the day, when you believe the love has gone and faded away, you're going to have to come on that, like, you know what? I really like this person. Because truth be told, there are people that we love that we just simply don't like. And I know you know about 5 of them or so, right? I mean, come on, let's be honest. Everyone that you love, you do not like. Okay. So, and everyone that you like, you don't love. So, you want to have those 2 factors, love and like, in a relationship. Also, you want to be in a relationship with someone that's going to help you establish legacy. And what does that mean? Established legacy means that you are better off. Well, your children are better off than you. Your children's children's children are better off than you, whether it's spiritually better off than you, whether it's financially better off than you, whatever it is, to build wealth. You want to build wealth together. Okay. So if you're with a joker who is not even thinking about the future, just thinking about the here and the now and fudging and having fun. I can't say the other F word. I'll just say fudging and having fun. You're going to end up, I guarantee it, you're going to end up with someone that does not want to build a legacy with you. And that's a question, again, that you need to ask. Where are you going to take me? Where are you taking me? Are you taking me to just McDonald's? Are you taking me to the welfare line? Or are you taking me and our great great grandchildren to establish this wealth, to have this strong spiritual foundation? Where are you taking me? Because that's very important. Because remember, I said the man that you marry dictates your destiny. The man that you allow to fertilize your egg will dictate your destiny. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Even if you're not with that person, if you're not with that man, has deposited his seed into you to bring forth a child that may look like him. Okay. That child is going to shape, in a sense, your destiny, because if it were with another man, it would be another child, a different child, not that particular child. So again, the man that you establish yourself with will control, or in a sense, your destiny. For me, I wasn't LaCON. I changed my name because of the man that I married. I was a Williams, Lisa Williams LaCON, but I no longer use Williams. Well, only in Facebook, because anyway, but you get the point. Okay. So what you have to do, try to start out with that friend zone. It's very important. Again, there are a lot of jokers out there, ladies. They're very stealthy. Men are hunters, and they hunt for victims, prey, how many women they can conquer within a set amount of time. Okay. But you need to ask them, ladies, before you get in the sheet with them, 1, your sexual preferences, and 2, where do you want to take me? And then this joker will probably say, are we going to the movies? See, no good. No good. So anyway, I'm getting ready to go. But I don't know if I told you all, last week I wasn't on because I went cross country. I went from LA to Maryland with my bestie, and we had an awesome time. It was beautiful. awesome time. I'm going to share about my time on the road going cross country and the things that you need, but also I'm going to dig a little deep into the difference between love and lust so that you won't get caught out there in a lustful relationship thinking that is love, where it's not. You can't be with a person for all these years and not build anything together, and you two not building anything, and that's just based on what? You're building something together, even if you don't have the financial resources. If you love that person and you're married to that person, guess what you're building? You're building a new generation of people seeing a matrimony, a strong, solid couple. That's what you're building. And then guess what? That strong, solid couple can be taken down to your children's children, where, you know what? Divorce is not an option. Any neighborhood, especially in the urban community where it is poor, I guarantee you the probability of the man being out of the household is very large. Let me repeat that. I said any poor area in the urban community, the man is out of the household. I need you to think about that, put that in your pipe, and smoke it. Because what we're doing to our children and our children's children by them not allowing to see a strong, unified marriage, we're in a sense breeding poverty into them. You may not agree with me. I'm only quoting statistics, okay, about the consequences of raising children by themselves, the consequences of not having the man in the home. Now, I'm not talking about visiting half the time. I'm not talking about visiting a quarter of the time. I'm talking about the man that's sleeping in the bed next to his wife. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, because people are like, well, he doesn't really need to be there. Yes, he does. Yes, he does need to be there. And then we're going to talk about that. What is meekness? Because ladies, if you aren't meek, you won't be in a very successful relationship with a man. You just won't. And I'm going to break down meekness next week so that you can get a clear understanding of how that terminology, how it looks to be meek. And we're going to have fun with that word, because I hope you all have questions for me. I hope you all lay it into me, because you may disagree, and that's fine, but be respectful. That means no profanity. I don't want anyone using the F word. I don't want none of that. You can have a decent conversation, and you can go into the deep recesses of your brain to come out with some words other than profanity. I'm sure you're able and capable of doing that. All right. So we're going to talk about that. But before I log off, I need you to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And hopefully you learned something, because I am Dr. Lisa LaCON. I am here for you. And this is Urban Tools for Change on the YouTube channel. I love you guys. I missed you. I can't wait to see you next week. Hopefully I won't have these technical difficulties. And until next time, bye.